I want to talk about this testimony from Ghislaine Maxwell today. She's going to appear, but by all accounts, her lawyers say she is going to assert her Fifth Amendment rights. So what's the point?
Well, we want to go through the process and give her the opportunity to cooperate. As you mentioned, John, she did indicate through her attorneys that she'll exercise her Fifth Amendment rights and will not testify. But we said that we would try every method to try to get to the bottom of all this, and certainly she is the one person who, through all of this, was at Epstein's side, and she could unlock all of this by cooperation, but she has chosen not to do so.
What does it tell you that she did sit down with the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, for conversations, spoke to him, but is unwilling to speak to you all?
Honestly, I believe all of that was witness tampering on the part of the president and his attorney, Todd Blanche. They spoke, and immediately she was taken out of that prison and relocated in a detention center with much more privileges and much more freedom than she had in the first prison she was at. And then thereafter, and continuously, she has refused to cooperate. So what does that tell you?
If she, in this imaginary world where she would answer questions before your committee today, what would be the first thing you would ask her?
Well, she knows all the people who are involved in this network. There were approximately 1,000 victims over the length of this, beginning, I believe, in 2005 or 2008 in Florida. So, and those victims weren't victimized just by Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein. There are a lot of people involved here, some very powerful people, and that would be my question. Would be, name those names. Let us hold everyone accountable who abused these young girls. Give them justice.
Epstein files, the scandal now stirring new controversy abroad, landing at the front steps of 10 Downing Street. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer here apologizing to Epstein survivors. Authorities in the UK have now launched a criminal investigation into Britain's former ambassador to the United States, Peter Mandelson, who was appointed to the role by Starmer. Files released by the DOJ last week show he may have shared confidential financial documents with the late convicted sex offender.
He lied repeatedly to my team when asked about his relationship with Epstein before and during his tenure as ambassador. I regret appointing him. If I knew then what I know now, he would never have been anywhere near government.
Now to a live shot here over Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Both Bill and Hillary Clinton have agreed to testify before the House Oversight Committee later this month. And the former Secretary of State issuing a direct challenge today to committee chair James Comer. She wrote on X today here, quote, "So let's stop the games if you want this fight, James Comer. Let's have it in public. You love to talk about transparency. There's nothing more transparent than a public hearing, cameras on." Comer said earlier this week that the subpoenas call for recorded private depositions of the Clintons, but said once finished, a public hearing could happen.
Released documents connected to the Jeffrey Epstein files show previously undisclosed discussions about media acquisitions in the U.S. Virgin Islands, including references to Scranton-based Times Shamrock Communications. The records include a series of emails and a confidential business memorandum sent by James P. McGee, a consultant with the Newgrange Consulting Group, to Epstein in 2013. McGee discussed the possible sale of the Virgin Islands Daily News, which was owned at the time by Times Shamrock. There is no indication in the documents that Epstein ultimately invested in or acquired the Daily News.
They've protected predators, convicted pedophiles like Ghislaine Maxwell, infinitely more than they have done for survivors and victims of Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, in the largest global sex trafficking ring in history. I call her the second sweetheart deal, because really, why should a convicted pedophile and sex offender be in a cushy prison right now when she should be in a maximum security prison as determined by law. That's not me deciding that. That's what the law says.
Tonight, the chairman of the 2028 LA Olympics facing calls to resign. He's in the Epstein files. Newly released emails show Casey Wasserman exchanging flirty and racy messages with Epstein's ex-girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell. More than 20 years ago, asking Maxwell back in 2003, quote, "So what do I have to do to see you in a tight leather outfit?" Wasserman has not been accused of criminal wrongdoing related to Epstein or Maxwell. Alex Michelson is out front. And Alex, what else are we learning about Wasserman's ties to Ghislaine Maxwell and his appearance in these, Epstein email files?
Well, Aaron, Casey Wasserman is not denying the fact that more than 20 years ago, while he was married with young kids, he exchanged flirtatious messages with Ghislaine Maxwell. In one email from 2003, Maxwell offers to give Wasserman a massage that would, quote, drive a man wild. Wasserman asked her to book a massage in one email and then asked to see her, as you mentioned, in a tight leather outfit in another. Now, all this happened decades before Maxwell was convicted of sex trafficking for Epstein and other crimes back in 2021. She's now serving a 20-year sentence. Now, for some context for folks who may wonder, who is Casey Wasserman? Well, he's one of the most powerful and best connected people in all of Southern California. He's the CEO of his own sports marketing and talent agency. In 2017, he chaired the effort to bring the Olympics back to LA in 2028. He's currently at the Olympics in Milan, leading LA's delegation there. Now, after the emails with Maxwell came out this week, LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn, City Council Member Monica Rodriguez, City Controller Kenneth Mejia, District Supervisor Lindsay Horvath, or County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath, all called on him to step aside. Here's what Horvath told me on the set of our show, The Story Is.
They need to have a leader who maybe isn't affiliated with a convicted human trafficker. We need LA 28 to take seriously their relationship to the women who are coming to these games. And we need to make sure that Los Angeles is putting its best foot forward. And I think this is going to continue to be a distraction at best in order for the city to get that work done.
So you want him to step down?
I think if he doesn't, LA 28 board has to step in and make that happen.
You heard her there, Aaron. She mentions the LA 28 board, who would have the power to essentially fire Wasserman. It's important to point out, not one person on the LA 28 board has called on him to step down. Not one. We've reached out to several of them for comment. None of them have given any public statements. The mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, who's not on the board, said that Wasserman's future is up to that board. Aaron.
So Alex, what is Wasserman himself saying? Obviously, he's no stranger to controversy.
Yeah, well, he's in Milan right now, where he's leading the delegation, and there have been times where he's had the potential opportunity to interact with the press, and he's reportedly gone out of his way to avoid Q&A sessions with reporters there. He denied our request for an interview. He did issue this statement. We'll put it up on the screen. Quote, "I deeply regret my correspondence with Ghislaine Maxwell, which took place over 2 decades ago, long before her horrific crimes came to light. I never had a personal or business relationship with Jeffrey Epstein." And this is important, Aaron. There have been no elected officials who have called for Wasserman's resignation in the last 3 days. Wasserman has no plans to leave his job, Aaron. It seems like, for now, he's in it.
Yes, no, it certainly does. And of course, there are others who may have consequences, but well before he does, if he has any. Thank you so much.